1989. I Miss You by Janet Jackson was #1 song. Look Who's Talking reigned supreme in the box office. The top Halloween costumes from 1989 were Batman and Joker, respectively. And American televangelist Jim Bakker is sentenced to 50 years for fraud. This is Halloween Havoc 1999. And we are the Fudderation Podcast. So you can follow the Fudderation on Twitter at the Fudderation. You can go to facebook.com/Fudderation Podcast to find us on there. Instagram, it's all the same. It's all the Fudderation. You use Fudderation, you'll find us anywhere. We don't have a Snapchat because, well,
we're not white girls.
Exactly. Nobody wants to see our dicks. So, at least not mine. So, Travis, before we get in some of the news in 1989, do you have anything you'd want to talk about?
I'm going to be holding in a shit for the entire podcast right now.
Because he somehow thinks that we're live and that he can't pause and go for a poop. But
we're live,
if that's
pal.
what he wants to do. We're live, pal. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Life's good. I got some reading that we can do later on. Story time with Travis. I've got a nice bottle of Tangerine Dream, and I'm ready.
And as we speak right now, we're smoking some Blue Snow.
Oh, baby.
And I'm drinking a Coke Life with
Baby.
cane sugar and stevia. Motherfucker, those are the greatest. Travis, have you ever tried this?
No.
Take a sip.
No.
Okay.
Maybe later.
Travis doesn't like to be adventurous when it comes to pops. He's too good for pops.
Pops, but I love me some hops.
There you go. So, yeah, he does.
Bam, that was fucking hilarious. Holy shit. Fucking on fire.
Travis. All Japan's relationship, and I bring this up because you got Muta. Muta is a part of the All Japan relationship with WCW, and that is becoming increasingly strained in the latter months of 1989 because of Tom Zink and Smegma Slater being the latest talents to be removed from their Japan tour due to U.S. commitments.
Actually, I have something to contribute here.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, speaking of Tom Zink, he arrived in WCW only in September because Jim Barnett negotiated to bring him in for a strong position as a big baby face from his already strong position in All Japan. Guess who requested Tom Zink to come work for WCW?
Who requested him to come work for WCW?
Who requested and, recommended Tom Zink?
I'm trying to think it would be one of the Minnesota crews. Somebody from Minnesota? Is it somebody? Was it Brian Pillman?
Ric Flair.
Really?
Yeah. He was making $156,000 per year in WCW.
Tom Zink was?
Yeah.
For doing nothing?
For doing what he did.
Oh my God, he has a match against fucking, what's his nuts?
But at the same time, what was it? Fucking Mike Rotunda.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt's dad.
Yeah, the sea captain.
He is a captain. But
he was a sea captain for like a week too.
But this is when Flair is booking, so more than likely he only got Tom Zink to come in because Flair was head of the booking committee at this point, right?
Yes, and he is head of the booking committee, and it's as actually since you've brought that up now, we'll go over this. Dave Meltzer on record in 1989. You've got to reach more because I can't move my head away from the mic. Dave notes that Jesus Christ with an Etch-a-Sketch couldn't draw for the NWA right now, as there's no clear direction for the product under Flair's booking regime other than the vague Flair versus Muta hints. And
why does Dave Meltzer think that Jesus Christ can draw?
Because he's Jesus Christ. He can do anything. He can turn water into wine. I'm sure he can draw a fabulous something on an Etch-a-Sketch.
But could Jesus Christ eat a burrito so hot that even he himself couldn't eat it?
Well, I mean, he did get murdered, so he wasn't powerful enough to avoid that, was he? So I'm sure he couldn't escape an ultra hot burrito.
Dying for our sins, my ass.
Oh, man. Turning people away left, right, and center here.
Come on.
But no, I know. This is a very, would you call it atheist podcast? There's a reason why we don't talk about God.
I don't really give a shit about religion, so is that agnostic?
I think so, yeah. I would say that's probably the better term for it.
I don't have enough
Agnostic.
passion in non-religion to be an atheist.
Exactly.
I
agree.
I don't care.
No. I'm in the same bit with wrestling. I don't care if it sucks that much. I'm not going to get upset about it.
Yeah.
It's I like it when it's good. When it's bad, it's fun to make fun of. That's my notes on it.
Tyler, you have a lot of weed on your shirt.
Holy fuck!
Just got a fucking wizard sleep of bud going on there.
Yeah, just being a fucking wasty Nancy. But Travis, if they thought that Flair's booking was horrible, you just wait till we get to Starrcade.
Oh, buddy, I can't wait.
Because Dave also goes into discuss the problems with NWA right now. A year into the World Championship Wrestling Company, Turner is losing millions.
Dusty ran that company into the ground and Ted had to buy it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Dusty was the booker back in, what was it, fucking 85, 86, 87?
Something like that.
Big Magnum TA push.
Yeah. So there was you could stay the course, cut your losses now, scale it back to regional, or throw a shitload of money at it and compete with the WWF. And we know how that went circa 11, 12 years later. So, man, this is really wreaking havoc on my lungs right now, Travis.
Oh, that is not the only havoc that will be taking place tonight.
No, you're right. It's just Halloween havoc.
Fuck, I'm on fire.
You are, buddy. You are. Paulie Dangerously was fired from WCW right after Clash of the Champions, stemming from backstage issues with, who do you think? Who does Paul Heyman hate from WCW at this point in time?
At this point in time.
Yes.
Flair?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He had heat with Flair. And
I was trying to think if Bischoff had any pull in the company at this point.
I don't even think he was there yet.
No.
It's also personal conflict with the Samoans, who he was managing at the time. But Dave goes in to say that he isn't even sure exactly what it was all about. But apparently Paul went off script during an episode of The Danger Zone. And that basically, brought it down.
Because his phone got broken, man.
Apparently, Paul Heyman goes into depth on why he was fired here on his DVD. But, I mean, I don't know, who's got all the time in the world, right? So
It's a good documentary, though.
I have seen it. It's great. At this point, can you remember at the end of the show, Travis, that we're watching now, Halloween Havoc? Jim Ross says, we hope that our next pay-per-view will be picked up by the same provider.
Yeah.
That is because the WWE kicked the NWA out of the Cap Center in Maryland, insisting on total exclusivity, that they would never come back there again. So the WWE is going back to their old tactics of trying to bully the WCW guys around, or at that point in time, it was the NWA when he was doing it before. But yeah. So that's still ongoing. The war is still raging in the 80s between the two companies. So, yeah.
In 89, when WWF is fucking mega popular, what's the point?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, hey, the wrestling in NWA, in my
Head over
opinion,
heels better.
far superior.
Yes.
Yeah. But the way that they put the show together, the way that they represent themselves, they hold themselves, it's completely different. WWF
It
just
is.
seems like a much, much well put together company.
It does. When you look at the production of a WWF show in '89 and a WCW show in '89, it's head over heels different. You got that mystique of a look with WCW being a darker, more dingier area. The stage set is a little bit more dingy, but you go to WWF, everything's bright and lit up.
Well, yeah,
So-
you compare, let's say, WrestleMania 5 from '89, Mega Powers exploding.
Yeah.
Trump Plaza, it's a decent-looking venue. I mean, it held some of the shittier Manias, but then you compare it to Starrcade, which is probably going to be at the goddamn Omni or something.
It is at
like
the
that.
Omni,
It's
yeah.
at the Omni. Perfect. There we go. Yes. And the Omni looks like it looks like such shit that I can smell the sweat from the TV screen.
That's gross.
It's that gross.
That is gross. Travis, the last bit of news that I need to let go here is that a rock band in Cleveland named the Bastard Squad
Ooh.
does a song called If I Only Had a Brain and dedicates it to Kerry Von Erich.
Gary Von Erich is alive.
Yeah, but they're saying he's an idiot.
Oh,
If I only had a brain.
I'm the idiot too. I didn't fucking get that at all.
You didn't, Travis. So okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready.
I'm ready.
Well, here we go. Here is our delve into Halloween Havoc 89, settling the score.
It's coming.
An evening of unspeakable horror.
It's coming.
Terrifying destruction.
It's coming.
A howling good time with the monsters of professional wrestling. It's coming! October 28th, Halloween Havoc 89, settling the score. A pay-per-view event bordering on the edge of insanity. Call your cable operator for availability, if you dare.
I'm coming! I'm coming! Yeah.
Flair turns into a demon during that one.
I'm coming. Or it's coming. But yeah, so it's October 28th, 1989, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're at the Philadelphia Civic Center. Jim Ross and Bob Caudle from SCL.
Yeah, man. It sounded like he just woke up from his nap this entire episode.
Oh, man, it's great, isn't it?
He's so grumpy.
He is.
And
he
out
is.
of touch.
Yep.
Like
very
he's
much
losing
so.
it, man. It's like watching Ed Whalen from Stampede Wrestling,
Duh.
who thinks it's all real. Like he actually thought it was real.
Hey, man, that's the key. That's the key. There's 7,300 people here at the Philadelphia Civic Center. So doing what Raw does on a daily basis. So, you know.
And there's empty seats.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere.
Oh, yeah. But Travis, the pay-per-view buy rate was 1.77. And yeah, that is everything you need to know about the logistics of Halloween Havoc 89 settling the
Good
score.
word.
Thank you.
Good word.
Thank you. It's a good word for a guy that's pretty fucking stoned right now. So yeah, let's go right into Sea Captain Mike Rotunda taking on the Z-Man, the $106,000 man, the Z-Man.
Jim Ross says that the ladies call him Z-Man, but he's known as Tom Zink.
That's good observation, JR. You hit the nail on the head. But I think what we really need to know is these two losers didn't even get an entrance.
No, this is not a televised Clash of Champions. This is on pay-per-view, baby, and they can't even give them an entrance. They're paying Tom Zink $156,000 a year, but he cannot get an entrance. Okay. And what the fuck? I wanted to see Captain Mike Rotunda still wearing his varsity club fucking outfit. Enter and maybe come out like tugboat style or something like that, you know?
Hey, man, he's I don't know if that's already happened or if it's still to come, but he does turn into Sea Captain Mike Rotunda.
Does he really?
Yes,
But
yes.
he's known as Captain Mike Rotunda right now.
Yeah, he turns into Sea Captain.
He's captain
or
of
he
the varsity
was.
club.
Yes. So I don't know if that happens afterwards. I would love to see this.
He had to venture himself into other captain vocations.
Yes, before he can ultimately get a government job at the IRS.
Good for him.
Good for him. And then having
And then he became VK Wall Street.
and wore dollar signs on his singlet, which
Yeah.
still didn't look good in '89. Didn't look good in '95 either.
You know what I find funny about this, though, is that in 1989, Philadelphia is still its own crowd. They boo the shit out of Tom Zink.
They did.
They booed the shit out of him. And this guy's supposed to be white meat baby face.
Yeah, and they were cheering Rotunda's heel tactics.
And Rotunda is the worst. He fucking sucks.
Oh man, he is the dirt worst.
Okay, like I get the idea of heat being that you actually hate the guy and you
Yeah.
want to see him get his ass kicked. But this is fucking go away heat where he's running out of the ring, stalling for about 40% of the match.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where if I wasn't doing this to review, I wouldn't watch this match.
Good Lord, no.
You know,
and it was 11 minutes.
Yeah. Like, I believe the Road Warriors and Skyscrapers got about the same amount of time.
Ugh.
And so
An opener is not supposed to be your fucking
this is a
low
sleeper.
maintenance. It's a sleeper match.
If I know how, okay, back in the day when you did cards in the 80s, that's how you did them. Your worst match was going to be the first and a built to the biggest match.
yeah.
But when you look back at it now and trying to keep the crowd going, yeah, no, it doesn't do a good job at keeping the crowd hot or getting them hot to start the show.
Especially Philly, man. They're a white hot crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Halfway through this match, I was regretting the choice of doing a WCW arc.
Even though the last show was so good.
Yep. Yeah, this was probably the most boring match I've seen in some time. And it was literally not even worked well.
No.
It wasn't. It was
They had
poorly
no
executed.
chemistry whatsoever.
No, not a. In a moment of excitement, Rotunda ends up throwing Z-Man outside the ring. Then Zink comes back in. He wins with with rolling through a crossbody, and the crowd boos Zink on his way out.
Did you see the modified arm drag that JR calls, which looked like a a square dance with fucking zero gravity?
It was very awkward.
It was very awkward. You're gonna see a GIF of that one. And immediately afterward, JR noted that Rotunda was the captain of the varsity club, which is the singlet he's wearing, even though the varsity club has been disbanded for quite some time.
Yes, they have not been a thing for a couple days, I would imagine.
A couple months. Couple months, and he hasn't changed his attire yet.
Not a bit, no. So
And like every time that fucking Bob Caudle ends up piping up and saying anything, which is rare,
because
he sounds like he's fucking startled and bewildered, like fucking Abe Simpson from The Simpsons. Like, I just wish that he could kind of like be a little more boisterous in his voice and just be like, ah! Like every time that someone hits a body slam and they make too much noise, he's just kind of like, oh, jeez.
I'm gonna have to see because with my contacts through SCL, I can get a hold of Bob Caudle.
Ah,
And I'm going to have to see if we can get Bob Caudle on the show just to ask him a couple questions. So
we need to. Like,
We
we
do.
need to get down to this.
I know that is.
What if he does more pay-per-views?
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does all the pay-per-views.
With Jim Cornette. Oh.
That was televised.
Oh, that
event.
was television.
Yeah. I'm sure Bob Caudle does them all.
Oh, Jesus.
He was the voice of WCW, man.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, geez. So our boy, I can't remember, Christopher Cruz.
Chris Cruz, which I'm pretty sure was the guy that play-by-played When Worlds Collide from AAA with Mike Tenay. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Okay, well, that's 94. This is 89.
I know. But I'm just trying to establish him, what he's all about.
Yes. Bruno, he's backstage with none other than wrestling legend Bruno Sammartino.
Literally the longest reigning WWF champion of all time.
Yeah, is refereeing on a WCW show since haven't been back to the WWF since like 83 or
Fucked over David. They fucked him over.
So I'm gonna go ref the Thunderdome.
Greatest Wrestling Observer guest of all time, Bruno Sammartino.
Fucking hell. This is great. They chat though about the Thunderdome.
Isn't it so great that Bruno Sammartino is the special referee for the Thunderdome?
It is. I thought it was awesome. In a match that doesn't need a referee, they had to go out and get Bruno Sammartino to ref this match because nobody else knew how.
So ill-fitting. And the fact is that Bruno Sammartino seems to be the most out-of-touch guy in the world to be reffing this fucking electrified steel cage match.
I mean, there wasn't much electric
Halloween
about
garb on it. No, there wasn't. They fucking didn't sell that one at all.
No, we'll get more into that when we talk about the main event. But he says that his role is to keep the action between the four competitors. And then Cruz then asks that if he will stop the match before the Terminators will stop it. And then this is where I get so fucking confused. Because now I'm wondering what the fuck is a Terminator? Like nobody ever told me that there was a Terminator in wrestling, besides for Arnold every now and then on WWE video games.
RoboCop can be considered a Terminator, I'm sure.
Oh, well, let's tell them you know what a Terminator is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Terminator, yeah, the Terminator is the managers of both teams. It's Ole Anderson,
Fucking Anderson.
and Gary Hart. They both have towels, and the Terminator's job is to throw in the towel. And Nobody wins or loses until somebody throws in the towel. So yeah, that was Bruno Sammartino. That's this is the one and only episode that we'll ever have Bruno Sammartino on it.
I am sure we're not going to watch any All-Star Wrestling from the 70s or anything like that.
No. I would rather drink bleach, to be completely honest with you.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie. But this brings us to our second match of the night, and I don't know why this match was. Dave Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars. I
match
hated
sucked.
this match. I thought this match was complete and utter dog shit. It was the drizzling shits. It's Steve Williams and the Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane with Jim Cornette taking on the Samoan SWAT team, Fatu and Samu, and the Samoan Savage with the Big Kahuna.
Which is Sir Oliver Humperdinck,
Yes.
for those who don't know.
Yes.
I loved at the beginning when Cornette introduced the team himself, and he called Dr. Death the toughest man in the world.
Yep. Yeah.
I believe it.
I believe it. I believe it. My favorite part was Samoans and their fire show.
That was cool.
That was pretty
I
cool.
enjoyed
That
that.
was
For 89, I would not expect that on a WCW show.
no, that was pretty fucking cool,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
It's really Usos. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is where the Usos got it.
Well,
Well,
their
it's their
dad
father.
was there.
This their whole family. Because every one of these guys are related. They will all go to the WWF in a couple of years.
And they all have heads like bricks.
Yes.
According to JR,
It's like coconuts.
though he said heads like bricks.
fair
today.
enough.
Because Fatuno sold a faceplant at one point. He was like, "Well, they're known for their brick-like heads, after all."
Fucking hell. Oh, that's good. That's good. I didn't even notice
Yes, it was great.
that. So this
great.
match is basically a shit show from the get-go.
Standoffs. Nothing
Yeah.
but standoffs.
There's brawling all over the place. Tables are being tipped over. The crowd gets hot once the Samoans start to isolate Lane from the corner. When he gets the hot tag to Dr. Death, it comes in and just lays the shit out of Samu.
When he gorilla pressed the Samoan Savage and threw him into both members of the Samoan SWAT team, that was pretty cool.
I believe it with Dr. Death doing it.
Oh, fucking moment of the entire match, Tyler. Stan Lane hits the Enziguri on Samoan Savage, and JR calls it a karate kick.
Oh, Bob, you see that karate kick, Bob?
Whoa.
I was asleep.
I didn't finish my warm milk.
I definitely do not have as good of a Bob Cottle impression as Jared.
Oh, what are you talking about? That's the real
I
Bob
know,
Cottle.
it is the real Bob Cottle. It is. I know. Terry Funk, too, sometimes.
Split personalities.
All hell breaks loose, though, when Fatu slams Bobby Heenan on the concrete. In a great show of teamwork, though, the rest of his team surrounds him as the Samoan Savages are trying to come in. So, I thought that was really cool. That who was the one line down? Was it Stan Lane? I don't know. Everybody else on the team just surrounds them, though, and makes a circle like a wolf pack. They're just like, no, get away. And so the Samoans with their brick heads just stand off and be like, we'll get them eventually. Just like a fucking ravaged dogs or something. But
Yeah, that's what Samoans are.
yeah, they go back into the ring and they all get destroyed by the Samoans. And then Bobby would get the hot tag to Dr. Death, and he clears house with a series of press slams, like 18 press slams. Then he hits a power slam, only gets a 2. All 6 are in the ring going at it. Cornette clocks Pumperdink with
Pumpernickel.
Pumperdink. What's
You
the
thinking about that pumpernickel, that Cobb spread tomorrow?
fuck off? Yes, that's true. I can't. What is pumpernickel?
Technically, I don't know, but it's real dark looking bread.
Okay, fair enough.
Sure, it has something to be related to it with
Is it like those
rye.
dark croutons?
That's the color
Same
of
color?
it, more or less. Yeah.
Fair enough. Anyways, back to the match.
Anyways.
The Samoans would end up getting the quick pin after Lane accidentally knocks Cornette off the apron following an attack from behind by Samoan Savage, which is a great name.
I love it.
Samoan
Love it.
Savage. And he looks different than the rest. It's like you've got Fatu Samu, but Samoa Savage, it looks fucking menacing as fuck.
He looks like Weird Al Yankovic.
That's true.
Like,
little bit.
from the 80s. The mustache, the curly hair.
If Weird Al Yankovic was 200 pounds heavier.
If Weird Al Yankovic were a Samoan savage.
I'm sure he's thought about the video. I'm sure of it. Anyways, Travis, Gary Hart and Terry Funk are going to tell us about the 10,000 watt boogie.
It appears that reverse psychology, that reverse therapy is working on the Samoans. Gary Hart and Terry Funk have joined me. Just exactly how far are you willing to risk your men tonight in the electrified Thunderdome?
Absolutely and totally. There is no quitting in the J-Tex organization, and tonight, for the very first time, Mr. J of J-Tex will be at ringside with us, Terry.
You know, I want to say one thing. You know, Winston Churchill said, never say die. Gary Hart says electrify. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to start a new dance craze here in Philadelphia. It's going to be the 10,000 watt boogie featuring Ric Flair and Sting here tonight. And besides that, we're going to introduce something new. Fried chicken. I'm talking about Ric Flair when we push him up against that electrified fence.
Thank you so very much, and now let's go to Gary Capetis.
The electrified fence.
Okay, so Terry Funk, I just have to address something towards you. When you deep fry a human's body, it's not fried chicken.
It can be if you want it to be.
Okay. Okay.
You get me there?
I guess.
I mean,
guess.
some people say, rabbit tastes like chicken. It doesn't.
I love Gordon Soley's voice.
Gordon Soley, he's got a very
He's
1930s.
so nasally.
Yeah.
He sounds like he should be like commentating track, like horse races.
He probably did.
Greyhound races and stuff.
Great. The dog races?
Oh, and
Santa's
the dog
little helper.
has donned the crimson mask.
Fair enough. Speaking of dog-looking people, Tommy Rich takes on the Cuban assassin. And did you know, Travis, that Tommy Rich was the original inspiration for the movie Children of Corn?
I thought he was Tom Petty.
Tom
I feel like
Petty?
he should have came out in like a scarf, a little like bandana scarf.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks with him.
Stevie Nicks right alongside with him. You know, great. It'll be great. God, I fucking hate Tommy Rich.
I do,
Holy
too.
shit, he's okay. Like I know that we're gonna go through the match or whatever it was worth, but he fucking won with a Luthez press,
Yeah.
the shittiest Luthez press I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the limpest, least, just. It looked as if he was aiming to put his dick in his mouth.
Yeah,
And then just, it was so light, it looked horrible. And then, everything with Tommy Rich, in my opinion, just looks awkward because he is
especially
such an
with all that
awkward-looking
ass
fella.
sweat protruding out of his trunks. Like his trunks were fucking soaked. And it was just like ass crack imprint and like lower cheek, like ass flap deal was sweaty.
He's got a hot undercarriage, man.
He's
What can you say?
wildfire. Oh man, JR mentioned that Cuban assassin's first ring name was Fidel, hey?
Yes, he's had a lot of names. We won't get into it now because I'm a little too stoned to look it up on Google. But
I can. If you want to just kind of like
sure. But Cottle, though, he also says that Tommy Rich, came back to the NWA in top physical condition.
Oh yeah.
The guys.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Bull fucking shit.
The guy punches, and it looks like loose spaghetti. He looks like he looks like he hasn't seen the gym in half a decade. Like this guy is not in top physical condition. And I can't say that I've ever seen anything from Tommy Rich before 1989.
I have it.
Okay, but this is absolutely horrible. I don't know what he's like before this, but now I hate it.
Okay. Cuban Assassin is the cousin of Bill Alfonso. Weird. He was trained
You mean
by
like the whistle dude?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, and he was trained by Hiro Matsuda.
What?
Yeah, yeah, but his ring names, his aliases that he's been known to be over the years were El Hambre de la Habana, Cuba, El Sanguinario Cubano, El Cubanísimo, El Cubano, the Assassin, the Boricua, the Cuban Assassin, David Patterson, David Sierra, the Destroyer, El Cubano, Especialistia 2, Fidel Barrio, Fidel Sierra, and coming from parts unknown, Top Gun.
Oh. Oh. That's sexy. I like that. I like your Cuban flavor, Travis.
Thank you.
If I didn't know any better, you would have a little Cuban in you.
It was that Cuban pork shoulder I made.
Oh, probably.
About
hey?
a week ago.
It could have been. I wish I could have tried some, but
I still have the pride of Havana in my blood.
that one not so much.
I know. I know. Fuck me, right? Jesus. Let's talk about some wrestling.
Was he, Travis, just amuse me here now. He wasn't in Los Boricuas, hey? No. No? Okay. Fair enough.
Wait. No, he lost to Aldo Montoya on Raw in 1995.
Oh.
He teamed with Barry Horowitz.
Pat yourself on the back, Travis.
I could probably pop my shoulder out.
You're a true Barry Horowitz. Yeah. True Barry Horowitz at heart.
Oh my God.
What?
While wrestling under the ring name Top Gun, Sierra faced Ric Flair in a match that ended in a 60-minute time limit draw.
Where? When?
I'm guessing in Puerto Rico because, oh no, it might have been WCW. It was either in World Wrestling Council, WWC, or...
You can't, like, click on the name Top Gun and see where it was?
No, I'm just reading Wikipedia right now.
Okay.
Isn't that fascinating, though?
It is fascinating. It is fascinating, Travis. Following a missed cross body by the assassin, though, Travis, which would hit said Spaghetti Lou press and get the win. We should call it the Spaghetti Press.
But Tyler, let's forget about the Spaghetti Press because the stinking Freebirds are back.
Travis, tell me about the Freebirds. The Freebirds.
Well, the Freebirds are taking on the Dynamic Dudes tonight.
They are. Managed by none other than Jim Cornette himself.
He's so hip.
He is, man.
This is too hip, man. Like, we have Bart Simpson and Spicoli from Fast Times at Richmond High tag teaming together right now.
Yeah, with Milhouse's dad behind him.
Kirk Van Houten. Could I borrow a feeling?
Oh, fucking hell. That's really who Jim Cornette would be, though. If he was a Simpsons character, he was Milhouse's dad, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this fabulous Freebirds, Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes against the Dynamic Dudes, Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas with Jim Cornette. Again, the Freebirds only have one title. I've went to Twitter to ask Dave Meltzer to see if he can give me an answer. So far, I've got nothing.
Why they only have one tag team title?
Yeah, this is 2 shows now. They've only had one title. Did you notice?
Maybe Michael Hayes is not to be trusted with a tag team title.
It's possible. Maybe he's just that big of a douchebag he won't bring the belt to the ring. I don't know. Maybe he's so coked out that he forgets it and lost it. I don't know.
We got to talk about the Dynamic Dudes.
Okay.
Like, this getup is astonishing. Like, this should not be acceptable at any point in time of history. Like, what in the fuck? They're carrying skateboards out on a...
Carrying.
They are carrying skateboards.
No, they could not use the skateboards to go down the ramp. No. They carried them. They fucking carried them.
The Samoans can play with fire on the stage, but they can't skateboard down a flat ramp.
Dude, Johnny Ace looked like he could skateboard. I believe Shane Douglas, if he tried, could.
Maybe.
If he didn't have to puke.
I don't know. Johnny Ace does sound like Super Dave a lot, so maybe he probably would have enough balls to do it.
Super Dave wouldn't be able to skateboard.
Super Dave
Super Dave?
took all kinds of crazy stunts, Tyler.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah, you know what else he did on that show? More than stunts.
Larry!
No. There was one thing that was on that show as much as Super Dave Osborne's stunts, and that's Katie Lang. She was
Katie Lang.
She was on every fuck that lady singer from Canada.
Yeah.
She's on like every episode. That's all I can remember is just seeing this as a
When
kid.
did that show come out?
Oh, that was the 80s for sure.
The 80s?
Yeah. I used to watch that when I was really young. And that was just like syndication. It was on every night.
Fuck.
So, but this match was good when Shane and Garvin was in the ring.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Ace is okay.
Yeah,
I mean, he's nothing
okay.
special. I think I enjoy the Freebirds quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hayes is the person that kind of I really enjoy just because I never realized that his character was this much.
Yeah.
Like it's a little much, but it's
It
pretty
is.
entertaining. Like he's a
I'm
great
more of-
promo.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm more of a Garvin fan.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
JR did mention that Hayes was the first wrestler to use rock music as
Yes.
his entrance music.
Because Garvin's not the original member of the.
Buddy Roberts.
Yeah.
It's Buddy Roberts and I think Terry Gordy.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for having those names in your head because I did not.
I don't think Terry Gordy was in there initially. He was pretty young when he died. I'm pretty sure.
No, but I'm sure he was in the Freebirds for a little while.
He was, quite a bit.
Because when they inducted him in the Hall of Fame, his son was there.
Yeah. That would be Slam Master J. Jesse and Festus. Remember them?
Yeah, but that's who that is.
That's Terry Gordy's son, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay,
Crazy,
that's where I remember for like a minute thinking that Festus was Terry Gordy's son.
No, that's Luke Gallows.
And that's why it confused me for it, because it's the other guy
Yeah.
that was with him that was
Yeah.
Terry Gordy's son. But it just makes more sense that Festus was Terry Gordy's son, though. You look at him, right?
It would make sense because Terry Gordy's a sloppy looking fucker. But the Freebirds.
He's no Smagma Slater, though.
No, he's not.
Or Spaghetti Legs.
But believe it or not, I'm pretty sure the Freebirds used Leonard Skinner's Freebird in World Class as the first ever.
Oh, okay. It makes sense. Now they use the Bad Street USA song.
And Tyler, I just have one more thing to touch on.
Go for it.
Bob Cottle said this, quote unquote, the Freebirds have to get rid of the dudes.
Have to.
It's just hearing Bob Cottle say dudes.
I don't know what a dude is, but I don't like it. But the match ends with the dudes attempting to slingshot power slam. Something like that. Hayes grabs Ace's ankle, trips him up, and Rich reverses it into a pin and gets the win. Everything on this show has been some kind of fucked up finish. Somebody getting thrown into their manager, or fucking roll up, or they reverse the fucking move into a roll up.
The dudes may have lost, but JR did say earlier in the match that both Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas have gotten their education before training to be a wrestler, which he stresses is very, very important.
Yeah. Too
And
bad
that-
he couldn't teach his fucking brother to not get Tasmanian devil tattooed on his fucking arm.
And it's too bad Douglas ended up resorting to work at Target after WCW and ECW.
And get blown up, thrown up in the ring at TNA.
Fuck, that education really paid off, eh?
Wouldn't he get a fucking education in being a fucking
Artist?
a fucking trainer? Like, fuck me, physical trainer, something that probably, if you go 10, 15 years, like, you never know how
Sports
to
therapy.
do it. Yeah. Ooh, that was weird. Not used to. My beard is really itchy now.
Oh.
Because it's the shortest my beard has been in a long time. I got my beard trimmed. And they made it.
Holy shit, hey?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They made it. They
didn't
made
even
it
notice
very short. And
Did you go to a
I mean,
hair?
did you notice my hair was cut?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. But yeah. And now it's really crystal. Like, it's really itchy because it's really hard hair now, not soft long hair.
Yeah.
So it's
Tame it with some beard oil.
Oh, I have been. It's wonderful. It smells very, very nice. But yeah, no. Do you want Cut to the worst promo I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my God.
You ready
Steiner
for it?
Brothers one?
Yeah, I made it better though.
Okay. He's fat.
No, I did. It's nothing like that. But let's hear a guy mumble and a guy sound like a lunatic.
In just a few minutes, the world will see Doom. Of course, the Steiners will see them inside the ring. My question to you, Scott Steiner, is how are you going to fight a team you have never seen before?
We have no strategy. We need no strategy. Tonight is total wreck with a band. That's when you're playing our game. Because when there's no rules, no anything, in our ball game, you're playing our game. That's the way we like it. Yeah, we got Doom. That's a good name for those guys, Doom, because when we get done with them, it's going to be finished. We like a good fight. Who cares what happens? Who cares what happens, man? As long as we get in, you get to fight, you get to be able to do what you got to do.
So I say to myself, I got to find this guy. I got to go up to his office. I got to put his mail in the guy's goddamn hands. Otherwise, he's never going to get it. He's going to keep coming back down here. So I go up to Pepe's office, and what do I find out, man? What do I find out?
Rick Steiner, many voices thinking that woman will be able to distract you and cause your defeat.
No, she did it to me one time. If I get her a chance to get in there, if I get her a chance, I'm going to take her and get it.
All right, fans, back now to the ring live in Philadelphia.
If I get a chance, I'm going to give it to her, yeah.
You get it. The worst thing is that the fucking audio doesn't do it justice because Rick Steiner looks like a goddamn spaz during this entire promo. His eyes are bugged out. It looks like he just smoked the biggest rock of crack he's ever fucking seen.
It's madness. Yeah, no, we're. I think that's a video I'm going to have to make and put on YouTube. It's just us explaining this, and just because it's something you need to see. If you don't watch Halloween Havoc 1989, you need to go to just before the Steiners and Doom match and watch this promo.
Yeah.
Because this is not only the high point, but probably the low point of everything. Because amazingly bad, but yet amazingly entertaining.
Oh, I think anything Scott Steiner does is somehow entertaining in a way.
Yes. When you started off by fucking up the first line.
We have no strategy.
No, we don't need no strategy. I'm going to get it. Get it. I'm going to give it to her. Oh, man, he's a fucking loon. What a loon.
Robin Green is now known as Woman.
And she is with Doom. Now, Travis,
is that empowering or like demeaning?
I really don't know. I'm not the right person to talk about this stuff.
No, but she was like she was like a sub for Kevin Sullivan.
Yes,
and like submissive. She was always
then
getting
she
choked by her. She was always on
Steiner's
bondage
money.
And shit.
And then she started spending the Steiner's money. That college
So
fund
I'm
money.
guessing she costed the Steiner brothers the match and not Missy Hyatt.
Yes. That becomes clear, Travis. They taped an angle for NWA TV where Rick asked Robin Green to marry him. Scott gets all suspicious of her motives, and they wind up getting beaten down by two guys in masks backstage. This mysterious team was supposed to be Butch Reed and Kevin Sullivan, which makes sense given Nancy's connection, but it ended up being Butch Reed and Ron Simmons.
So why didn't Kevin Sullivan?
I don't know. But I'm sure it's just Kevin Sullivan probably thought of some other fucking weird smoked up idea. Or he was in his like Florida home, secluded. One of the two. But for this segment where Scott Steiner got beat up by the thugs and was to suffer a black eye, he didn't want to wrestle a makeup on for the next 2 weeks to sell it. So he just had Rick haul off and punch him in the eye. And people say to this guy, like, fuck, man. Like, he's mad. He was mad in 89.
Tyler, Scott Steiner was going to become a school teacher. Then Rick Steiner convinced him to wrestle. Yeah.
Rick Steiner convinced him from killing a student. That's what Rick Steiner stopped him from doing. Because he would have murdered somebody. Can you imagine? He's probably a gym teacher.
Being your like grade 5 like math
gym
teacher.
No, man, you know he's a gym teacher. He's nothing else. He's not a math teacher. If I had 3% chance, he's not a math teacher.
Numbers don't lie.
No. Oh, fuck. But yeah, so Scott Steiner doesn't have the black eye now, but he sure as hell had it for 2 weeks. And so yeah, they lay it to Doom as soon as the bell rings, and there's no better way to start this.
The debut of Doom.
It is. No better way to start the match though. If you have a vendetta, is to just go all out at the start.
Yeah.
It's something that is not always happening now. You know, you'll have tag teams that are reserved at the beginning, or, you know, like they'll have a match where it's a fucking blood rivalry and they start with a lockup.
It makes no sense at all.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But, you know, it's really not much of a match, Travis.
No. I mean, come on. Butch Reed, Ron Simmons. What kind of work rate are you going to get out of that? And at this point, Scott Steiner is green as goose shit. And he's impressive athletically, but
yeah,
he doesn't have it all together where he would in like 91 when Scott Steiner is at his like apex.
Yeah, that is true. Basically, okay, so well, just get into the finish, I guess.
There is one great thing. Doom number 1, which I'm pretty sure was Ron Simmons.
Could be.
He drops Rick Steiner on the rope to just like gorilla press, drop his neck on the ropes to choke him. But Rick doesn't actually catch himself on the rope. Like, he doesn't put his hands out. So he literally just bounces his head off the ropes and falls flat face down on the ground. It was amazing. And like, I don't know. Scott delivering Germans with ease to people like Ron Simmons and Butch Reed.
It's impressive.
Aesthetically looks amazing. And then you get Woman having to say shit as a manager outside. Saying,
very bad.
Get those Steiners.
Yeah, she's not very good.
She's awful.
Yeah. There's no room for her in any Wrestling Hall of Fame.
And I thought Benoit choked the charisma out of her.
No. She probably stole his. That's probably what happened.
She is a charisma vacuum.
Well, I mean, yeah. I suppose there was she didn't really take much away from Kevin Sullivan.
No.
He's just
he was still crazy as fuck.
Yeah. But let's go backstage where Luger cuts a stumbling program. Oh my God. I'm turning into Lex Luger as we speak, Travis.
I don't know!
Luger cuts a stumbling promo, calls himself the champion of the 90s. It's not even the 90s, it's 89. Soley then asks him how many times he's been champ. Luger says, however long I want to be. And when he leaves, Soley says he's been champ on multiple occasions, which means he can lose. So we'll cut it to the ring.
Well, he's been champ on more than one occasion, so he can be beat.
Spot on. I feel like I'm doing this with Gordon Soley. So, Travis, this brings us to Lex Luger taking on Flying Brian for the NWA United States Heavyweight Championship match. Dave Meltzer gave this 3 1/4 stars, just as much as the 3-man tag. This match was head over heels better than the 3-man tag. So, Travis, I see that you've got us a little excerpt from Crazy Like a Fox, the winner of the Observer Book of the Year.
Yes, sir. A very good book it is as well. Like, it's fucking fascinating. There's a lot of insight on WW, like the entire scene of WCW. Like, I'm finding out a lot about the booking committee and a lot of the shit that went on. So I'll start off page 73 here on the chapter Flying South. Pillman still had some doubters inside WCW. Having never been beaten on television, whispers about his size and true ability circulated among those in the locker room envious of his hasty push. On the contrary, Lex Luger was the company golden child. While he had his own skeptics, Lex's weaknesses were often overlooked in favor of the mountain of perceived potential. His Herculean physique, good looks, and articulate nature had convinced many that he was going to be the next Hulk Hogan. Fearing that Luger was WWF bound in 1987, Jim Crockett signed Luger to one of the company's first contracts for $350,000 a year.
Eat that, Tom Zink.
Yeah. With no track record of being able to back it up, For 3 years duration of the deal, efforts were repeatedly made to get Lex into position to be a difference maker, but they never seemed to take. In his current run as heel, he'd had a tremendous series of matches with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, carried by this veteran Steamboat. Being matched up with Pillman on the backside of it was seen as, of all things, a litmus test for Lex. It rhymed. After being carried by Flair in matches throughout 88, then by Steamboat in 89, the company saw Halloween Havoc as Luger's chance to finally do the carrying and prove he was at the level they wanted. Pillman, regardless of his obvious athletic skills, was yet to be considered a top caliber worker. Knowing that a great performance was imperative in such a high-profile situation, Bryan visualized the match and took the lead in putting the entire thing together. Though Pillman was capable of spectacular things, arguably his greatest asset, even 3 years in the business, was his aptitude to mentally construct major matches. Through the drama and excitement crafted by Bryan, the battles would turn out even better than his level of fundamental ability. This certainly was the case on October 28th at Halloween Havoc. Taking place at the heel-friendly turf of Philadelphia, the bigger star Lex was cheered over Pretty Boy Bryan by the male-dominated audience. It didn't deter Bryan at all, who put on a stellar effort in a match that massively overachieved. Lex looked like a seasoned pro, exuding as much poise as he ever did, while Bryan fought from underneath. The announcer spent most of the match putting over Lex, making it abundantly clear who the star was. But his final flurry of near falls teasing the upset had the Philly fans on the edge of their seats. By the time it was over, every mission had been accomplished. Luger looked great in victory. Bryan's standing rose in defeat, and two of them had the best match on the show. More to the point, the match was such an artistic success that WCW was convinced that Lex was finally where they wanted him to be. Time would tell that simply wasn't the case. They kind of opened their eyes with the idea that they put him in a match. A match for him to lose, says Dave Meltzer. But he looked really good, and it was like, wow, he's just not a pretty face. Because they knew he was a good-looking guy, good physique and everything. A little on the small side was fine, but there was that thing of, how good of a worker is he? He can do athletic moves, but how good of a worker is he? At the beginning, he was nervous in the first couple TV matches and didn't impress them as much. But once he had the match with Luger, they were like, okay, yeah, he can work. Reading that Dave Meltzer bit fucking messed with my head. Because he literally wrote it down the way that Dave Meltzer talks.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's funny. It's cool. Because you could see how it has a lot of his Aspie-isms.
So this match is essentially Luger's test to see if he can truly hang with the boys. To see if he can be the carrier. To be a Ricky Steamboat, a Ric Flair. And they thought that he fucking was. What the fuck?
Yeah, no. Okay, so let's go through this now. Luger, he takes a flurry of drop kicks from Bryan. Luger then avoids a springboard, and Bryan makes chase, and Luger gets the upper hand once into the ring. So far, all he's done is run. Bryan's done all the work. Bryan then has Luger in an arm lock. Luger spends his time quaffing his hair. Did you see that?
It's got to be perfect. His thin, balding-looking long mane has to be perfect.
Yeah. Bryan goes for a big splash. Luger rolls over, uses power game against Bryan, laying shit kicks to the challenger. Bryan then hits a sunset flip pin, avoids the clothesline, sending Luger all the way to the outside. Back in the ring, Bryan attempts a 10-count punch, and then he gets reversed into a sloppy as fuck atomic drop. He missed his knee altogether. It was like he fell down into the turnbuckle. Yeah. But this is the ending of the match here. Bryan pushes him off for another sunset flip from the top, but only gets a 2. Bryan then hits a springboard clothesline, but Luger gets his foot on the rope. Luger then would avoid a drop kick, guillotine Bryan on the ropes, and get the victory. Now.
Stun gun,
okay. But where in anything that we mentioned there gave you any indication that Luger ran that match?
Nothing
at all.
In the book, it said that Pillman orchestrated the entire match.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But they still thought that this was all fucking Luger.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Really?
It's madness.
And then
It
you,
is.
you couple that with the shitty promo he did with Gordon Soley. Like, that wasn't a good promo. He
No,
fucking
it
fell
wasn't.
flat on his ass.
It wasn't a good promo, and that's half the reason why I kept it out, because it's not an appealing promo
It's just
to listen
solely
to.
at the end. Just
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
bringing it
exactly.
full circle. It was great.
Exactly. So now, Travis, let's probably go to the best promo of the night here with LOD, the Legion of Doom, with Paul Ellering.
Thank you, Jim Ross. A big surprise. Thought Brian Pillman would finally wear the gold tonight, but
Me too.
apparently that is not to be. We are standing by live here in Philadelphia, just minutes away from the Road Warriors Skyscrapers match. Hawk, you are considered the best tag team in the history of professional wrestling, but can even the Road Warriors defeat the Skyscrapers?
Well, you know, we've been underdogs all our life. And there's some critics out there that think we're underdogs tonight. Well, the people out there aren't stupid. They know better. The Skyscraper. Hey, who builds buildings, Paul? People do. And who tears them down? People do. Well, we're a couple of people that are going to reduce them to rubble. Snack on danger, dine on death. Dead men don't make money. Count 'em, Adam. You know, a lot of people in our sport today judge themselves on how much they can take by the hands of the Road Warriors. Not by anybody else, but by the Legion of Doom. That's why we're the #1 team in professional wrestling as Skyscrapers. You ain't gonna change that.
All right, fans, let's go back to the ring now. Road Warriors and Skyscrapers live from Philadelphia.
While this entire promo is being aired, Paul Ellering is in the background lurking in Hawk's shadow.
Yeah.
You don't even really see him. Like,
No,
it's
he's-
actually hard to notice him.
All he says is, people do. People do. But it was a great promo, though, I must say.
Dude, the Road Warriors, if anything, are a great promo.
Yes.
Hawk especially.
Let's dive into this LOD Skyscrapers match, Travis.
Well, I had one hope for this match, Tyler.
What's that?
I wanted to see Sid Vicious, Whirly Bird, and Road Warrior.
And that did not happen.
It did!
It did?
Yes, it did!
What?
He fucking Whirly Birded fucking Hawk. It was great.
God damn.
I can die a happy death seeing Hawk receive a Whirly Bird.
Well, you know it was an animal. There's no way that's
Hawk
Stout
is the
Brick
one
House.
that no sells, though.
Yeah, no, but Animal's the fucking brick house.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He's a brick.
House. Yeah, I like when they cut to a kid in the crowd with a hawk mask on. JR says, "Oh, that looks like a Muda mask." I was like, "What?
Are you fucking thick or
You
what?
knew?
Simple?
So, Travis, sometime before this match, Sid Vicious decided to be Sid Vicious and injure both members of the Dynamic Dudes in the same match.
Before this match?
like probably 3 or 4 weeks before, not seriously, but he did injure both of them in the same match on separate occasions in different spots. So good on Sid. Yeah. They're playing this up like the Road Warriors are the underdogs for the first time in their career, because the Skyscrapers has beaten everybody since their debut. And the one thing that shocked me, you said that you liked the Whirly Bird by Sid on Hawk. I liked the monkey flip on Sid from Hawk.
Yeah,
That was pretty
hey?
fucking dope.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was dope.
I like that Teddy Long is still holding Norman the Lunatic's key while he's managing the
I
Skyscraper.
was thinking, I was like, why does he still have the key? Why?
He's a fucking thrifty bastard.
I guess.
He can find it back there. I can smell gold.
Oh, man. So, no Norman the Lunatic to be found this week, which is a shame, by the way, because I thought that was ultimately very entertaining last time.
I'll eat you too.
But Travis, the match would ultimately break down when Long would get involved using Norman the Lunatic's giant metal key.
Well, he hit Paul Ellering with it.
Yes.
Then Spivey took the key and he used it against the Road Warriors, which caused the Road Warriors to win the match via disqualification. Then they started to club Animal. Hawk hit a diving clothesline to Spivey to take the key, and that was pretty much it right there.
Yeah,
Nothing much.
It's not much of a match, no.
Neither person could go over, neither could lose.
Exactly, and they succeeded in doing so. The Skyscrapers, they couldn't lose via pinfall, and the Road Warriors couldn't lose via pinfall either. So they gave the
one can't and one won't.
That's true. Well, that's true. That's true. So yeah, this brings us, Travis, to our last audio clip of the night. This is Sting and Ole and Flair cutting their Battle of the Woo promo.
Thank you, Jim Ross. That is not the last we will see of the Road Warriors, Dan Spivey and Sid Vicious. Well, what can you say? We are ready for that big Thunderdome match. Ole Anderson, my question for you, at what point will you throw in the towel?
You see this towel wrapped around my arm about 10 times. There's no way. You better get ready, Gary Hart. This towel is going to be like glue on my right arm. When I get out there, the only thing I'm going to be doing is watching Sting and Flair knock the crap out of Mr. Muta and Terry Funk. Get ready, because your towel is going to be dropped in that ring. I guarantee.
Ric Flair, are you willing to risk your future in professional wrestling?
I'm amazed. Throw the towel in. Here's how it goes. This is the Thunderdome. This is the big time. This is the National Wrestling Alliance. And Sting and Ric Flair stand for a cause tonight. And the cause is the end of Terry Funk and the Great Muta. Electrified, yes. 10,000 people, yes. Nationwide, yes. Tonight, Funk and Muta. Woo! Pay their dues, right, Sting?
It's Halloween, and guess what? It's going to be full of hammock. It's going to be different because we're packing something different than a regular wrestling match, and I love to be different. You know that. Halloween havoc and electricity. It's just seconds away now, Nature Boy. Woo!
All right, fans, here we are. Thunderdome now live in Philadelphia.
Travis, this is the Thunderdome live now in Philadelphia. This is the J-Tex Corporation, Terry Funk and the Great Muta with Gary Hart taking on the Four Horsemen.
I think the Two Horsemen.
Yes, with Ric Flair and Sting with Ole Anderson. Now, Travis, did you know that the NWA, in order to try to get Bruno Sammartino to do this show, would quote-unquote dangle a carrot in front of Dave Meltzer to get Bruno to be on the show?
What?
Yes. They wanted to hire Dave Meltzer to get Bruno Sammartino to come to the show because they were having a hard time doing it.
Even though it's just one city away from him being, because I'm pretty sure he's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. But no, it just didn't want to do it. And they figured if they would hire Dave Meltzer, they might be able to get him to do it.
Oh,
but
my God.
I'm assuming. That's coming straight from Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer.
Oh, so
Yes.
Dave's saying this.
Yes.
Wow.
And the NWA, they already plan to reunite the Four Horsemen since Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, the Brainbusters over in WWF, have given their notice. They will be available by Starrcade, but I don't think they're used.
I thought Tully failed a drug test.
Well,
He
that's
refused to take
ultimately why they wouldn't be used, because Tully failed the drug test. But yeah, they wanted to reunite them, and because Ole has replaced Eddie Gilbert on the booking team, and he's starting to gain power. And the New Horsemen would oppose babyface Ric Flair leading into Starrcade, which could have been pretty good. You know, like the Four Horsemen taking on Ric Flair, right, and having him join them afterwards. It could have been a great storyline. Instead, they did a tournament.
Yeah.
Which was horribly boring. I've never seen it, but I heard it's a horrible Starrcade. Let's see. Ole Anderson made his surprising return to TV as a part of Team Flair. Everybody's thinking that this is leading on someone turning on Flair sometime in the future, and that's about it. But yeah, you got I don't understand. Why is there a ref? If there's no rules, why is there a ref?
Well, you still need some officiating, and Bruno Sammartino, according to Gary Michael Capetta, is the only man that could be capable of officiating this.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't know what his credentials are. I've never seen him ref a match before.
Only man.
Just believe it. Just believe it. How much did you like Funk's Western music?
Loved it. Classic Western score.
I figured there'd
Whistling
be
and horns.
I wanted to see a fucking bush blowing around in the background. It would have been
Right?
great.
Thought we were watching Shane for a bit.
Yeah, he comes to the ring fighting off fans, or pretending to fight off fans.
But Gary Hart presents the Great Muta.
Yes,
That's how he's. That's the nameplate for Great Muta.
Yes, and as well, Funk got beer thrown on him on his way to the ring, and then security comes over to rush the guy out. Cottle then says that he fears electricity, so if these competitors need mouth to mouth, it's all on JR. And the cage basically just looks like a WWF cage with cobwebs, blankets,
Halloween
and shrubbery.
decorations.
Yes.
Hokey and cheap, but it's curved up, so you kind of can't really escape.
No, it's kind of like that red dome from TNA.
Thunderdome. No. Horror Dome. Terrordome.
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 Yeah, Terrordome.
Fuck me.
Fuck. Why would you ever want to recreate this? I really don't get it. But what's really funny, Travis, one of the blankets catches on fire as soon as it lowers.
From the shitty pyro.
And how does it go out, Travis?
Muta sprays his green mist at it while the fucking roadies are trying to get fire extinguishers.
It was absolutely fucking incredible.
Cattywampus.
What would you call that?
Technical difficulties.
Well, it's a great what's the comedic word for? Oh my Jesus Christ! Improv. It's great improv to get.
Great.
You know what I mean? Right? It was great. Took a long time to get that out. I also really liked JR when he said Sting was a part of a team called the Blade Runners when he debuted. His partner didn't progress as well as he has.
Whoa. Oh, just wait like 3 months when they have one of the biggest matches of all time.
I know. What timing, hey? Should we go and review WrestleMania 6 when it rolls around?
Fuck, why not?
Yeah, we
I've
should.
never watched the full thing.
No, I've seen it about 80 times.
I know you have. It was your thing.
It was.
I've watched Ground Zero 97 about 50 times.
To the point where the VHS just stopped working.
Yeah.
I tried to watch it. When I got around to trying to watch it, you couldn't watch it.
Yeah, I used to watch it almost like every fucking week.
Yeah. Yeah, because that had the Gold Dust Pillman match. That was Pillman's last match, right?
No, Billman's last pay-per-view match.
Yeah, okay, yes. Yeah. Sting and Muta, Travis, they immediately start climbing the cage. Now, Travis, tell me, why the fuck would you climb an electrified cage? Why?
Climb the cage, but up into the top portion, there's wires that electrify the bars. So therefore, if you're climbing the cage and you keep on going higher, you're actually fucking yourself over.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know why. I don't fucking understand.
And nobody ended up getting shocked by the electrified cage.
Muta did.
Well, yeah, because he touched it and was like, ooh, ow.
Yeah,
ooh.
and that's it. That is it. That was it. He was like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Oi, boy. And then Terry Funk would try to climb it. All the heels would try to climb it. And they would end up just doing a bunch of shit up there. But it didn't make sense to climb the cage, and then you got an electrified cage that never electrifies anybody, which really is a letdown.
Maybe they were going to like shoot pyro out when someone got to the top and then it caught on